Hello, everybody. My name is Rebecca Ngige. You can call me Becky. I'm the head of brand at Mogo. And I'm so excited today, guys, because we are doing our first podcast. And we have a financial literacy series we're calling Elewa Mkopo Wako. And today, I am joined with an amazing guest.
Hello, hi. Now, my name is Fernandez Karaoke. I'm the head of Boda Boda Financing, Boda Boda Logbook, and also EV Financing here at Mogo. I have crossed paths in the past with Uber and Bolt, where I've been able to learn about rider and driver economics, driver and rider safety, together also with marketing thoughts. But now I'm in a new space that is asset financing or mobility financing in Mogo. So here I structure loans that meet the customer's needs. At the same time, also trying to understand what a customer actually wants and requires, so you can be able to fulfill each and every of your desire.
There is a concept called loan. And we talk about loan, we hear about loans, but then it feels a bit dreaded, it's feared. However, even as a country, we talk about loans. We say, we borrowing money to improve infrastructure. You might have also taken a loan from a friend, a bank, or anywhere else. But maybe I want to know from you, Karaoke, under what circumstances do we find ourselves maybe in a need of a loan? And maybe you could give us context on that.
Okay. Mkopo, loan. People try to ask, why would I need a loan? When you look at the scene, people frown at loans. If you ever, I had a situation whereby um, some Boda guys will come and take a loan from a financier, and then they used to put a sticker. The financier would put a sticker on the bike, and then the riders would remove the sticker. Okay, so why? It's because of the, or don't want to call the bad ideology, but they think that a loan is a bad thing to have. However, but think about it this way: if you don't have enough money or funds to do something, and it's something that is extremely important to you, where will you get the money from? You have to borrow. Now, it's either you borrow you from your family or friends, from your chama. However, at the same time, they're also limited. They also have their own agenda, their needs, their wants you need to fulfill. So you need to look at another situation or a place where you can be able to get the loan from. So a loan enables you to be able to meet your daily needs or wants, or for you to be able to achieve a particular, can I call it, goal that you really want to achieve. So if you borrow a loan responsibly and it enables you to achieve your goal, then that is something to celebrate. However, if you borrow irresponsibly, then that is something to be frowned about. So there are two sides to a coin: a good loan and a bad loan. It all depends on a couple of things or ideas that are behind it as well.
So what I'm getting here is that we shouldn't be embarrassed because of taking a loan, because businesses are taking loans, government is taking loans, or governments are taking loans, big organizations. So it is not a bad idea. Only that if it's done irresponsibly, that's where the problem is.
Correct.
At what point does a loan become a burden, and a painful experience? Yet it should be something that empowers and propels you to achieving your financial goals.
Okay. So mkopo ni nini? So I'll put it like mkopo, it's like a rent. Okay.
Yes.
So let me give you an example. So I own a bike. Okay. You are a rider. Okay. And since you don't have this asset that I have, you come and tell me, Karaoke, I want to earn some bit of money using this particular asset of yours. However, since it's mine, okay, I paid something for it, I own it, then I cannot give it to you for free. So we'll sit down and we'll deliberate. We'll call it muktaba. Sit down and tell you, okay, cool. I will give you this bike for a month. Every single day, you'll be giving me 300 shillings. Okay. So now the loan now is I've given you this asset. okay? Then the accumulated daily payments that you need to pay me back, and then for a set limit of time for that particular month. Okay, so I would say that a loan is a rent, either for asset or for money that you pay back with interest.
And we'll come
Okay.
to that because that's a
Yes.
hot topic.
You pay back with interest.
Yes.
You get it. Now there's a difference between mkopo na deni. Okay.
Tuelewe.
Now, if you come to me, Becky, and you send me karaoke, unisaidia na 1K, nitakurudisha kesho.
Huo ni mkopo au ni deni sasa?
And then I've not told you you're going to return to me back with interest. You're returning to me and giving me, okay, shika 1K yako ndio hii. Okay? And that's it.
Okay.
Mkopo now there is what? There's interest. Okay? So if I come and tell you, Karaoke, give me 1,000 shillings, and I tell you, no, before I give you 1,000 shillings, I take you hapo nipatie 100 bob. So utanirudisha na 1,100. Okay? So that is how now people like to do with chamas. Because for chamas, it's like unachanga pesa, unapewa, haurudishi na interest, tunachanga the
It's a
same thing.
merry-go-round.
It's a merry-go-round.
But we also have the table banking in inakwanga,
Yes.
you
If
pay
you go
with
to your
compound
parents
interest.
or your brother or sister, okay, if they love you that much, they'll give you no interest. If they don't like you that much, they'll tell you have to pay back with what?
Hiyo ni kutokuaminia.
Kabisa. Unaelewa?
Yeah.
So it depends on the situation that you're in.
Okay.
Okay. But as I said earlier, it's all about taking a loan responsibly. Okay.
Keyword, responsibly.
Responsibly.
Yes.
Okay. The situations whereby people go and take loans and they want to go and bet. Unaona kale kandege, pesa yote nakunywa maji. You get it? So what happens? You have a loan to pay. Okay.
Yeah.
That money that you took has not helped in any way.
Yeah. And you have to
You have to repay.
it. Yeah.
And then you start saying, oh, deni ni mbaya. Oh, nimeshindwa kulipa hii deni inanilemea. Initially, you did not calculate enough. You didn't have the financial literacy to be able to understand that if you take a loan, then you have to pay it back.
You must have a strategy on how you're going to pay it back. Absolutely. Okay, that's amazing, Karaoke.
Get it?
Yes. There are components of a loan. Could you please break that down to us? Because you did mention there is interest, for example, but you also hear about principal. We hear about other fees and so on and so forth. And I think as you're expounding that to us, so that at the end of the day, we're able to see how the cost of a loan is, calculated and how it looks like at the end of the day for a customer. Yes.
So a loan has 4 components. Okay. The first one is the principal. Okay. So let me give an example. You've come to Karaoke bank. Begi umekuja ukaniambia nataka mnipatie 10,000. Okay? So 10,000 is a principal. Then tutakaa chini yeye nikwambie hii 10,000 kurudisha, you'll have to pay it back within maybe 3 months. So there's a time frame.
Yes.
Okay? A loan does not go on for perpetuity, not forever. There's a set time but you need to repay it back. Then by the time I come and tell you, you see now we've given you this 10K. Kwa sababu pia mimi niko na cost zangu pia that I'm incurring, you need to pay back with maybe 1,000 shillings extra. Okay?
Yes.
So there's interest, which is the 1,000 shillings.
Is interest like profit? In this context, how would you?
Technically, yes and no. Okay?
Okay.
Why? Because you have to remember that if you're coming to take money from me, okay, there are particular operations that are incurring cost, or there are particular costs that I'm incurring myself.
Like sending that 10K will cost you.
Like for example, if I'm sending money to you via M-Pesa,
Yes.
okay, then there's a cost
Okay.
incurred to it.
Yes.
Okay. So at the same time, I had to charge my phone to send the money to you.
You're also a business person.
I'm also a business person. So a certain element of it is costs. Then, of course, there's some bit of interest. There's some bit of money that comes back to me as profit. Because the only way I'll be able to continue giving you loans if you come every single time is because I'm making something else out of it.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Yes.
Then, of course, there's something else now. Now there are penalties. Okay? So if you come to me and tell me, Karaoke, give me 10K, nitakurudishia within 3 months. Then those 3 months, ushindwe kulipa, Utakwambia sasa Beki, see those sneakers. Those nice sneakers. Ukishindwa kurudisha, nitakuja nichukue hizo sneakers zako. Ulibeba za ngapi? 8K. Sawa. That is enough collateral. Ama nini? Ama security.
Yeah.
You get it? Or sasa hii umeshindwa kulipa hii do. Naweza kupeleka pale hivyo kwa CRB.
Ala.
Okay? Unaona?
Yes.
Ama utakupigia masimu. Okay? Hadi wewe simu yako ikuwe inawaka moto hivi. Things are mean. Okay? So there are penalties.
Mambo ni
mengi. Kuna penalty, that is number 1. That is number 4. That includes part and parcel of a loan.
Yes.
In case you don't pay. Penalties not in, you don't incur penalties if you pay.
Meaning you have control of these fourth costs.
Correct.
Yeah.
You have control over it.
Yes.
Can you imagine if you've paid your loan and I come and take your sneaker?
It's unfair.
It's very unfair.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's penalties, then there's a time frame, there's interest, then there's a principal.
Okay. So what you're saying in a nutshell, so that our viewers can understand this, is that the components of a loan, we have the principal. This is technically the amount that you're asking for, what you're expecting to get, what you're in need of. And then there's going to be an interest, a very hot topic that we'll expound further. And then you have the other fees. We could call them, some cases it's processing fees, it's application fees. And these three you may not have control over because it's dependent on the pricing model of the institution, right? And then you have the fourth one, which is the penalties. This one you can avoid, and we should avoid at all costs, right?
Definitely, yes.
Yes. Okay. Amazing. Thank you so much, Kariuki, for that. I think it will be very important for you to help us understand the different types of loans that, are there in the market, so to say. Because I think depending on the need of the customer, we have situations where a customer needs cash or money. Some it's asset financing. Maybe you could explain or give us an idea, and especially what Mogo really offers. Yeah, because I understand we have different products, and I think it's important for customers to know what options they have.
So there are two types of loans in the market. There are secured loans and unsecured loans. I think let's start with unsecured loans. Then
Yes.
you can go back to secured loans. So unsecured loans, it means that you go to a financial provider, then probably have a payslip, or you have a business that has income. They look at your payslip or your income levels, they tell you, seems like you're able to earn some bit of money. So yeah, we'll give you money, maybe give you maybe 1 million shillings, and then you can repay it within maybe 3 years, and there is no security. Right? The only thing that they need is just your payslip or your business income.
Isn't that security?
No, because payslip is paper.
Okay.
Okay. I could be fired tomorrow.
There's risk.
There are risks.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, there are particular metrics that you must meet, or KPIs must meet as a customer for you to be able to get the eligible for unsecured loans. Okay. So that is one. Then the other one, whereby now Mogo comes into play, is secured loans. Okay. So there are two types of secured loans as well.
Tell us about that.
No, under Mogo, okay, Mogo is a financial provider that enables individuals to be able to access money through their mobility assets.
Okay.
Mobility assets. Okay. Talk about car logbook, border logbook, car financing, border financing. Let's talk about financing. So financing means that you want a mobility asset, a vehicle or a bike or a tuk-tuk. So you want a new asset. That's a mobility asset. You don't have the total cost of purchasing this item. So you come to Mogo. Mogo tells you, hey, lazima uwekelea deposit. Okay? Unaekelea deposit. Then ukekelea deposit. Then there are terms and conditions. You're told, okay, cool. It's a tuk-tuk. This tuk-tuk will be paying XYZ per day or per week. Okay? For 2 years or 24 months. After that, you own the asset.
Mm-hmm.
So this works vis-a-vis as well also for cars.
Okay.
And for motors.
Okay.
Okay. Then the other one is getting financed against your logbook.
Okay.
Okay. So we call that logbook financing. So you have a bike. The logbook is under your name. Okay. So you have an asset.
Yes.
The asset is the border. You have an emergency, or there is a situation where you want to take your kid to school. you don't have the full school fees, so come to Mogo and tell Mogo, hey, hapa hivi nimeshikana, naweza pata kitu kama 60k.
Okay.
You do your value, tuna value bike yako, tunaona hii bike yako iko sawa, utapata 60k. Lakini before tukupatie loan, tupatie nini?
Logbook.
Logbook.
Yes, the
Then we do
security
an
sasa.
in-charge. Yes, we do no, that's security. You get it?
Because it's secured.
It's secured now, right? No, that is a secured loan.
Yes.
Okay. Now that means now we're giving you money against the security that you currently have. You get it?
Yeah.
So that is where now Mogo comes into play.
So, Kariuki, there's a situation where I own a bike, okay, but I don't have the time perhaps to do any business with it. So I'll go and get someone to ride. But how does Mogo make sure that this other guy is empowered? Because what will be happening is that this guy will be riding the bike. They'll be paying me money. But I do understand that Mogo's mission is to empower, especially that rider, so that at the end of the day, they're able to own an asset. How does that work?
So it is quite interesting that you've raised that, because that happens all the time. I'll give you an example. I have a wife. My wife notices that Toto, he could use his time wisely. Okay, let me go and getting a bike, so at least he can be able to get some bit of income, and he can also feel responsible. So she will drag me to Mogo's branch and tell them, hey, I am buying this bike. Everything, we check on all the documentation. She's even paying the deposit. However, who is he, to whom is she buying this bike for? My husband or me? So she gives it to me. And now, who will be responsible for making this call, making these payments? It is me, because now I own the bike. Now, what we've done is that we not only check on who bought the bike, we also check who makes the payments. Okay? Who makes the payments? Because at the end of the day, we know that this situation does happen. So we call the person who makes the payments to be able to educate them more about the requirements of the loan itself. Okay? How much they need to pay per day. And then at the same time, what are the penalties in case they don't pay?
Okay.
So that makes sure that not only the person who took the loan, but also the rider are also empowered as well.
And that is how they also transform into becoming owners, because they also get first-hand information. Okay, fantastic. All right, now, Kariuki, I want us to go to the next topic, and I did say it is hot, because often when you're taking a loan, the first thing that we ask, I think we asked very few questions, and there are so many questions that need to be asked. But one of the questions is usually, what is your interest rate? Okay, and maybe you can help us understand why the interest is there, and how the pricing model looks like for different financial institutions, because we know that some will say, if I went to a macro financial institution, it's going to be cheaper. But what are the factors that are revolving around this pricing model, and what is it that the customer should know about interest rate, so that it is not emphasized, because you have mentioned there are other costs that the customer should be looking at. Yeah.
About interest rate, this is something that people keep asking. We're very interested in learning why interest rate, why this. I'll give an example. Mimi na wewe tumechukua bus. Okay? Tunaenda wapi? Thika. Thika road sisi yao sasa,
Kwa maana
60 sita. Okay? Tumesema kufika mpaka Thika ni pesa ngapi? 50 bob ama 100. Sema 100 bob. Hiyo nimeshapanga, hiyo ni 6k.
Yes.
Okay? So mimi kama conductor nimeshapanga leo ni siku poa 6k. Tunakafunga. Okay? But remember, hii basi ili toke hapa iende, kuna vitu kadhaa lazima tunayo. Okay?
Yeah.
One, we have a driver, a conductor.
You must pay them.
You have to pay them. Hiyo pesa inatoka wapi? From the same 6k. Okay? Remember, hii gari haikunywi maji.
Kunywa
mafuta unanunua. Okay?
Yes.
Natoka wapi?
Kwa hii 6k.
6k. Remember, hii gari pia kuna licenses, kuna PSV, kuna insurance, wapi?
Hapo 6K.
The same 6K.
I think sasa tumefika 4K.
Okay, sawa.
Yes.
Then as we proceed, you have to remember that si kila mtu ambaye ni honest.
Tell us about that.
Okay. Kuna ameingia amejipox kwa hii bus
Uh-huh.
na amepanga vile atalipa.
So it's premeditated.
Of course.
Aya.
Okay. Amepanga vile ataingia hapo alete vurugu mpaka mfukuze. Akifika hapo hivyo Githurai anaanza kujifanya yeye ni mlevi, mfukuze. Anajua anashukia wapi?
Aha.
Anashukia Gio. Na wengine wamepanga vile ikishuka tu hivi itapoka na dirisha. So ukienda kufika Thika unajipata these were 60 seater, only 50 people have done what?
Have paid.
Have paid.
Yes.
So kuna shot ya ngapi?
Ya
1K.
Yes.
Okay? Kama kesho, kama if you're the owner na upande hii basi. Okay? Na unaipangia iende kwa barabara kesho, utalipisha bado so?
Itakuwa ngumu because I need now to forecast and provision for those that may not pay so that I don't go at a loss.
Correct.
Yes.
And you mind you, hii basi pia most of the time it's also under loan.
Hey, bank pale ama yes.
Yes, asset ni yangu saa hii, lakini ukienda kuangalia logbook imeandikwa karaoke and
financial. Yes.
Okay. I also have to pay them.
So this 6K, it's trained.
It trained, inaenda huku.
Yeah.
Na bado because mimi ni mwanabiashara lazima nilikuwa na profit.
At least otherwise tutapeleka nini nyumbani?
Nakwambia hiyo trip unipatie punch kama profit.
Yes.
Unaona?
Yeah.
Lakini nilikuwa nimepangia punch out of the 6K. Okay?
Yes.
Sasa umeniletea 5K.
Aha.
Hata hiyo punch hakuna. So kesho lazima nipangie nini? Vile nitapata hii punch.
So the good ones will pay a little bit extra.
Correct.
Or all of us anyway for,
Correct.
Okay.
To cushion me as the owner. And I also don't want this vehicle to do what?
To be auctioned or...
To be auctioned or something else. Because if I don't do it, then itaenda. And ikienda, mimi na wewe will not be able to do what?
We don't have jobs.
We don't even have a right to go home.
Oh yes, that part.
You get the point?
Yes.
Now let's come back now to the ideal world, to the real world now. Okay? Now financials. Now, a company like Mogo, if they're going to give you money, this is not their own money. Si ati ni pesa wana generate hapa Kenya ati wanachoma. Hakuna. This money, okay, they get money from other investors. It can be a bank, it can be individuals. Some are local, some are not local. These people, I remember, by the time they're giving you money, for them it's a business.
It is.
They're saying, if we give you 1,000 shillings,
you bring back 100 every month.
Yes, give us 1,100. Okay? There's that money. Then coming back is that at the same time, amongst all the people that we financed, some people either refuse to pay, okay, either because of financial difficulties, okay.
So we have genuine cases and we
Genuine
have just
cases,
bad behavior.
Or some people actually steal the bikes.
Okay. Yes.
Unapotea nayo kabisa. You have nowhere. That bike is completely gone. But remember, the financial obligations of Mogo towards his investors still remain.
Oh, there's no story.
Mogo cannot go and tell his investors, hey, unajua tuliibua bikes 3.
Enda pale WhatsApp.
Enda pale WhatsApp kuna kitu imefanyika.
No stories.
No stories. So what that means now is that all financiers, okay, when they do their financial modeling, they have to incorporate risk, financial risks. That is default, okay, the interest they also have to pay the investors, the actual cost incurred. They have Mogo, like a company like Mogo has like 1,000 employees. Those people have to be paid. They also have their own benefits. That's another cost. Then you also have the licensing and regulation. These are also costs. Okay. Mogo has over 60 branches spread across Kenya. All those branches, actually, yes, 90. Oh, 90. Okay. I think I'm also in the data last year. 90. That means all these branches must have licensing. Okay? So, then there are bills. There's water. There's electricity. All these are costs. All the utility bills have to be paid for.
Karaoke, there's something that I need you to maybe help us understand. That is, I think, very important for us to pick. That the nature of the customer has a lot to do with, the level of risk that the financier is dealing with. And I think that does contribute to how that institution will price, their loans. And I see that in I don't know whether it's in microfinance, you're dealing with many informal people in informal employment, and they don't have slips or bank accounts and so on and so forth. Is that a factor that these institutions are looking at?
Yeah, it is. Think about it this way. Why do you think traditional banks offer very good interest rates? Okay, why? We all know they have, but the pool of customers that they finance,
Eligibility standards are also quite high.
quite high. Why? Because they need you to have a what? A bank statement, okay, or a payslip. How many Kenyans can be able to afford that, or even have that itself?
Yes, we're still a growing economy.
It's still a growing economy. So people in the informal sector have to be financed, and that is where now other micro lenders or other financiers come into play. Okay, because remember, just because it's a pool of risky people does not mean that all of them are bad. Okay, the individual members there who would actually the biggest pool of customers that we even see, even here at Mogo, actually repay their loans. Okay. However, there are few who don't pay. However, we have to continue sustaining the business and also financing this individual because they're all Kenyans either way. Can anybody who decided we are not going to finance Mama Mboga, jamaa wa jua kali? Okay, what kind of an economy is that? Okay, so Mogo comes into play with other financiers to be able to elevate. Okay,
Yeah,
Mboga jamaa wa jua kali to be able to be
financially stable in the long run.
However, now there is a risk because they're in the informal sector. That means that because they don't have all these KYCs, okay, that other financiers need, is that the rate of risk is quite high if you decide to finance them.
Okay.
That is now why now the interest is going to be a bit higher for these individual members. Let's go back again. Mogo also finances people on their logbooks. If you go to a traditional bank, okay, they do not give they do not give car logbook loans. Why? They'll only finance you for a new vehicle. If you want a new vehicle, you go to China, you go to Japan, and it's a new vehicle, they'll finance you. Why? They're thinking about, if you repossess this vehicle, then it has a higher
value. Yes.
Okay. However, Mogo is like, if you come to us, we do valuation, within a set number of years, then we can be able to finance you. So at the same time, also the cost of there's higher default risk with the pool of customers that we finance as compared to other traditional.
And also especially because we finance, I think, up to 25 years old cars.
Correct.
Which traditional banks will not do. Okay, so what you're saying is that risk is costly, and at the cost of having everybody included in this, journey.
Yes.
Okay.
It's quite high.
Thank you so much, Karik, for that. Maybe I would want to ask this. Is there a point where a customer can get lower interest rates, even if, we have a standard one? Can a customer have a say into, okay, I don't want to pay 12%. What option do I have to pay at 8%, for example?
Okay. So I'll talk about it in two scenarios. Scenario one, asset financing. The other one is taking a finance against your asset. So financing, let's talk about car financing. Assume that the vehicle that you're taking is 1 million shillings. Mogo has told you need to pay 20% down payment. Okay, that's 200,000 shillings. For this 200, if you pay this 200,000 shillings, then your interest is XYZ. Okay, I'm just going to give an arbitrary figure, maybe 5% a year. That is very hyperbolical. 5% per year. Now, if you want to reduce the amount of interest you're going to pay, it's very simple. Remember, the total amount of loan you're going to pay is the 1 million shillings minus the 200,000. Then the interest accumulated of the 800,000 for the length of the time
you have
to take the loan.
Yes.
Now you can do one thing. You can decide instead of me paying 200,000, I'll make 500,000.
At the deposit.
as a deposit. So now you only finance 500,000. Now remember, 5% of a 500,000 is lower than 5% of the 800,000 initially that you're going to pay. So you can increase your deposit amount, which is going to reduce your what?
Interest.
The interest you're going to pay.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now let's talk about the other side of car logbooks or
Basically, logbook.
logbook financing or logbook loans. Now, what you can do is this: you've taken this amount of money. Let's say, for example, you have planned, I'll take 1 million shillings against my vehicle to go and do farming. Within 3 months, if I do farming, I'm expecting to get 1.5.
You look like a farmer, by the way, Karaoke.
I'm actually a farmer.
Okay.
Okay, I'm actually a farmer. So you decide that I am going to do what? I got 1.5. Instead of me using this 500,000 shillings to do other things, I'll go back to Mogo. Okay, I will sort out because they're giving me 1 million shillings. I've paid for 3 months. I give back them the 500,000 shillings. Okay, now that means I'll have less principal to pay for the next 2 years because I have reduced the total principal amount from the 1 million shillings now to 500,000. Okay. Mind you, I'd also paid for about 3 months, so it's actually less than 500,000. Since that I don't have a calculator here to actually tell you how much it will cost. So you either pay fast, but paying fast, it means if you take a loan,
You get a lump sum.
take a lump sum, bring it and say it's called capital reduction.
Yes.
Let me do capital reduction. You reduce that. So now the interest that is accumulating, it's only accumulating on the remaining principal, not the total principal that you were expected to pay.
Ah, very nice.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to talk about flat rate versus reducing balance? Because I think that is also something else that
Yes.
we don't understand.
So flat rate means this. Let me give you an example.
In the simplest way.
Okay. Karaoke, nimechukua 1,000 shillings from Becky. Okay. Now Becky amesema interest rate, okay, it is against this 1,000 shillings mpaka nimrudishie after 1 year. Okay, it is 2%. Just a hypothetical figure. 2% of 1,000 shillings. Maybe amesema it is 2% per month.
Okay.
Okay,
it doesn't change from January to December. 2%.
2% against the 1,000.
So that is flat. Okay.
Okay. And mind you, probably I'll be paying you 1 shilling every single day. That is just the total. That's like the rent plus the interest. Now reducing balance means is that when I'm making these daily payments or these weekly payments or the monthly payment, okay, some part of the money that I'm paying goes to reduce the principal amount, so that now this month, if for example I was paying, we've decided that I'm going to be paying 35,000 shillings. Okay, 35,000 shillings. We say that 20,000 for the first month is interest, 15,000 is for the principal. Okay, and probably I taken 100,000. Okay, next month I'm not going to pay 2% of the 100,000. I'm paying 2% of the 100,000 minus the 15,000 I had paid for the previous amount. Okay, so in other words, you keep on paying less and less deposit. So it's less and less interest rate as time goes by.
Okay, so the principal amount is reducing.
You pay higher interest during as the loan starts, and then you pay less interest as time goes by.
Oh, then that's the reason it's called.
So that is why it is important. If you are able to reduce your principal amount, then in other words, ni kama umekimbiza loan. No.
Yeah.
So badala ya kulipa hii loan, for example, itafika point whereby it was 35,000, you may end up paying 30,000 shillings to the principal and 5,000 shillings as interest. Now, unaweza kimbiza hiyo loan, upate pesa, ukuje reduce capital, the initial principal, so that now for the next few months, now you're paying higher principal.
You look like you've taken several loans. You have so much experience in this space.
Kuishi Kenya bwana bila loan bwana ni ngumu. Yeah, so yes, I have experience taking loans. But as you can tell, I'm a responsible loan taker.
Oh, not to borrow. Loan taker.
But yes, talking about being a responsible borrower.
Yeah, able to tell us what are these things? What is your compass, or what really guides you into taking, a loan? Or before you take a loan, what is it that you consider?
There are a couple of things that you have to consider. First of all is, why do I need to take this loan? I think that is the most critical question to ask yourself. Why am I taking this loan?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Some people take loans because of how to do a wedding. Nifurahisha watu.
Mi siongei sana.
Sawa.
Yeah.
Chukua loan, furahisha watu, wakuja wakule siku moja, waende wakuache na loan.
Kivumbi na jasho.
Okay? Kivumbi na jasho. Okay? You assuming they will give you gifts.
And you had told them, cash gift only.
Cash gifts only. Okay? Utalilia kwa chokwa. Okay? Now, think about, why am I taking this loan?
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to pay for this loan?
Uh-huh.
Because not only just a matter of, you might have a very genuine reason why you take the loan. However, how are you going to pay it back? That becomes a problem. Okay? Let me give you an example. So you want to build a house, which is a noble cause. Okay? You go to a bank, traditional bank, they tell you, for us to be able to give you a loan, we need security. La shamba. Sasa ndio hiyo unawapea. Lakini in the back of your mind hujafikiria, how am I going to pay for this loan?
Because it's not generating income.
There's no income.
Yes.
From this house you're building.
Yes.
It's your personal home.
It's residential.
Yako peke yako na familia yako.
Mm.
Okay? So after a couple of months, you're there wondering, why they come to repossess my land. They're taking my assets. You didn't think clearly about how you're going to pay for this loan. Okay? The other one is that do your due diligence before you take a loan. Think about, yes, I have a genuine reason why I'm taking the loan. I have an idea of how I'm going to pay for this loan. However, we have very many players in the industry. Okay? What separates the wheat from the chaff? Okay? Should I go to Bank X? Should I go to Financier Y? Should I go to Mogo? Okay? Okay? Look, enda kwa waulize maswali. Okay, nikitaka kuchukua loan hapa, what is the current interest rate? Is it on a reducing balance?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it on a what?
Yes. Is it on flat rate?
Flat rate. Yeah. Okay.
What are other costs associated?
Yes. Ask them, what are the fees?
And are you going to give me the full amount, or are you going to deduct some?
Actually, all financial players are required by CBK to be transparent.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
You have to be transparent.
And by the way, Mogo is licensed and regulated by CBK. Okay. Yeah.
So if you come to Mogo and you say you want to take a certain amount of money, Mogo will be very transparent and tell you, in the person unalipa, in the person tunakupea, this is the interest rate, this is the timeline that you're going to pay for. At Mogo it is reducing balance.
And with a schedule on how you'll be paying. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things that you should think about. Okay.
And compare the different.
Compare the difference. Sometimes people are usually very emotional. When you have a wonderful idea, especially people want to start businesses. You need money. Very emotionally driven. Okay? You go to a company, you take the money, then you're wondering, hey, there was a fee. How much was the fee? I didn't see it. You didn't even write. You didn't even read the agreement. Okay? Where you just appended your signature, ukasema niko sawa, mnipatie pesa. You got the money. Yeah. And for how long? Yes. Wewe umefurahi umepata pesa. Okay? So before you do all those things, some due diligence. Okay? And if, for example, you realize, yes, mathematics, haingiani, look for a guy who is, story yake na finances haina shida sana. Wanaelewana. Kwa chini yakwambie ukichukua hii, kuna hii na kuna hii na kuna hii. Okay? And before you sign, just take the agreement and read. There's no hassle in taking the agreement and telling this person or Mogo, I will come tomorrow. Let me go and review this.
Na kama sielewi, what if I don't understand some of the clauses hapo?
Either you ask,
Okay.
okay, or kama hauelewi, don't take the loan.
What?
You get the point? Because there's no point of taking a loan that you don't understand what are the penalties you're going to incur, when you're going to pay.
Should you? Because you're not encouraging that to get to the point where you're paying any penalties. You're saying, should you find yourself?
Should you find yourself? in that
Yes.
position?
Mhm.
So make sure that by the time, there's a very nice saying, mkopo. Okay? Elewa, uliza,
Mm.
then chukua.
Elewa Mkopo Wako.
Okay? Elewa, uliza, then chukua.
Okay. Lazima kabla uchukue ukuwa umeuliza, ukaelezewa,
Ukaelezewa,
na
ukashika.
ukaelewa.
Ukashika, hii ndio
Hapo ndio hesabu
hapo
imefika.
ndio hesabu inafika.
Good one.
Don't just take a loan because you're taking the loan.
Okay.
Okay? That is why most people find it hard when they've taken a loan. They do not understand what it means to actually take this loan. Okay? Who is responsible for X, Y, Z? Okay? Before you do anything, make sure you understand the agreement that this financial is giving to you.
Understanding is the keyword.
Okay? Understand. So, then 2, nimesema elewa kwa unachukua loan. Please,
The need.
let me give you an example. You see, most people like to bet.
Okay. Mbona unaenda hapo sasa?
People bet a lot. Mungu anakaa chini anaona, by the way, nimeona kuna jackpot 200 million. Wamesema hapa I need to be lazima niweke pesa ya 50k.
The odds.
The odds 50k. Unaona? Unakuja unachukua 50, unaenda unachukua 50k.
Una imagine
Kuja unaweka yote.
Una imagine 50k nikipata milioni 2.
Yeah, nitalipa hii 50k na ai like this. Okay? Hiyo pesa yote inakunywa maji.
Okay.
Unaanzia wapi?
Pressure.
Unasikia mnasema loan ni mbaya.
Oh,
Loan ni mbaya.
it was the misplaced
Loan
needs.
ni mbaya. Hiyo kampuni ni mbaya, wananikimbiza. They even promise they're going to take my product, my asset. Lakini wewe, you knew very well what you did with the money.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So make sure that you have a very genuine reason. I think that is, obviously the first thing is have a reason as to why you're taking the loan. Okay? If the reason is not justifiable, don't take the loan. Okay? Because every pesa si ya kwako, si ya kwako, si ya kwenyu. Lazima ulipe.
Lazima ilipwe.
Usipolipa kuna penalties.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tumesema you get the need, how you're gonna pay it, and what is assuming, because life happens, life lives, and you get to a point where perhaps maybe accident will happen, and unfortunately, or you're not in a position to pay for a month or 2. As a responsible borrower, before you take the loan, what should you do anyways? Because you see, it's not just access to money, it's also how responsible you are and intentionality to make sure that you pay, you pay back.
Let me give you a scenario. So Mogo offers Buddha financing. Okay? I, as a Buddha guy, I sit down and realize, nataka kuchukua mkopo na Mogo. A new boda. Okay? Nataka boda ya nguvu, ya power. Sasa pale nimeenda nikaambiwa, deposit niko nayo. Okay? Deposit niko na 30k. Niko sawa. Nimekaa chini, niko na stage, niko sawa. Lakini nikiangalia pale kwa daily payment, anaenda pale hivyo ni punch. Every single day I have to pay 500 shillings. But from my experience, I make 300 shillings every single day. Okay? As a responsible borrower, you will decide against taking the what? Your bike. You go and ask them, naweza pata bike ya pesa ya chini. Okay? Wacha nene bike ya nguvu, chukua bike ingine hapa ambao maybe ni 300 shillings per day, it's affordable. Take this bike, jijenge na hii bike ya 300, okay? Then biashara ikishika, ukimaliza kulipa hii bike, you can go and take bike ya nguvu, ulipe
You can upgrade comfortably. Okay.
No.
Yes.
So the same case scenario is that when you go and take a loan and realize probably there's going to be, sometimes you can tell these are going to be tough. Okay? And because you have to you have to repay this loan, they would advise you don't take the loan.
Okay.
Okay? If you feel like you're going to really, really strain to pay for this loan.
So technically what you're saying, you should go with an open mind, allowed to be advised and take the most ideal, package.
Correct.
But also I think we should advise our customers also to make sure they have a cushion, for a month or two, should
Yes.
something happen, that you don't start, because what's going to happen, as you said earlier, it's that this money need to be repaid back. And the institution will call back as many times until they get the money back rather. And that comes with a lot of pressure. So you do not want that pressure. Before you get back to your feet, at least wekelea something, you move on. And I think maybe you can also touch on restructuring, or what options are there should a customer, get into an unfortunate, situation.
Okay.
And they're not able to pay for the month.
So the financial institutions offer something called restructuring. But disclaimer, before you take a restructuring, I will tell you to avoid it as much as you can. Okay? Because restructuring increases the total cost of the loan itself.
It does?
It does.
Okay.
Okay? Let me give you an actual situation. You go and take a loan, okay? Maybe you took 5 million shillings. You have to pay it for, let's say, 60 months. That is 5 years. Okay? Ikifika hapo 2 years, ushalipa probably 3M. Sawa? Mambo inakuwa ni ngumu. So mabakisha na ngapi?
Kuna 2M. Principal
2M bakisha. You go to the bank and tell them, or to the financier, tell them, hey, mimi nimelemewa, nataka tufanye restructuring. Okay? Kama utafanya restructuring, yes, the amount of money that you pay is going to reduce. Technically. 2M ni less than 5M. However, they'll increase the what?
What now?
The tenor is going to increase.
Because
ulikuwa umelipa, silikuwa ni 5M for 60 months. Hiyo umelipa for 3 years. Okay? Now restructuring, maybe they give you 2M, they tell you you're going to pay this for, instead of now the next 24 months, 36 months. Now with a new what?
With new terms.
New terms. You have to go and sign terms, exactly new terms. That means now the principal is locked in. However, now the interest now is pegged against this 2M, and then the loan tenor has increased. So you end up paying more because now the interest is going to increase because of the increase in timeline they're going to pay for.
So what you're saying is that, okay, it is an option. However, it does make the loan expensive.
A bit more expensive, yes.
When you look at it in the long term.
Correct.
So it should be avoided.
Should be avoided. If you can. If you really can.
Should be the last resort.
Should be the last resort. So there are a couple of things as well. So we've spoken about how can I make sure that I am a happy borrower? How can I be happy when I'm taking this loan? Number one, make sure you pay on time. Every single time that you miss a payment, there are penalties. Penalties are incurred. You have to pay for them. So lipa mapema, avoid hassle penalty. 2, ukiweza kupata pesa hapa na pale, kuja reduce hii pesa bwana. Kuja reduce nini?
Principal, the capital reduction.
Capital reduction. Reduce haraka sana. Hello?
Yes.
Then thirdly, if you're in any financial stress or issues, communicate in advance.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's very important.
Communicate in advance. Tell a financier, hey, niko saa hii. Niko mbaya.
Lakini sasa Kariuki, unajua inaweza kuwa kimeumana, but it just, everybody is going through something, and we were, a financial institution was to listen to everybody. Economy is hard. What cases are acceptable, like genuine cases,
Actually, they don't even look at just genuine cases. Huh? They look at your history as a borrower. Okay? If, for example, every single month you have an issue about, biashara iko chini. Every month biashara iko chini. Biashara iko chini. It reach a point whereby you'll break the camel's back. Like, hapana bwana. Huyu atashi biashara iko chini. Huyu ana biashara. Okay? Huyu ana biashara kabisa. You get it? Okay? However, if you're a good payer, okay, and you've been paying your loan on time.
Yeah, and something happens.
They'll be like, they'll go and check, hey, but this guy has been paying, so this must be a very genuine reason. Okay? Can you just listen to him and give him options? We see how you can able to assist him to do what? To clear his payment.
And should also provide necessary maybe proof.
Correct.
There should be.
Correct.
Okay, sawa. Well, Kariki, as we're coming to a close, and thank you so much for the much more insight you've given unto us today. I'd like you to summarize on responsible lending, because we've talked about the customer and the obligation that the customer has before they take a loan and the factors to consider. So what about the financial or the lenders, these people that are giving us money, and case in point, Mogo, and maybe you can bring it home in context of maybe the structures that Mogo has put in place to make Mogo a responsible lender.
I say that Mogo has over 90 branches. Actually, you say that 90 branches. Huh? And amongst all these 90 branches is that we receive thousands of customers who walk into our branches every single month. Okay? And actually every day, 100 people walk into our branches. However, is that not everybody who walks into a branch leaves alone.
Okay. Also, we are not just saying that we pick everybody who is...
No, we don't just pick everyone to give a loan.
Okay.
We must check if your capability to pay.
Okay.
So, for example, we have KYC documents that you must come with.
KYC, know your customer.
Know your customer. For example, if you want a border financing, basi kuja na M-Pesa statement. Okay? And then we have a tool. Unaweka M-Pesa statement hivi, inafanya mambo mathematics. Itakupatia score. Okay? Based on a couple of things that we
So
check.
it is automated. It doesn't mean
Automated, hapana.
siri kuangalia na unakaa unaweza lipa.
Naangalia na huyu jamaa na betiki pesa yote huyu. Ni toolkit kanafanya tu mahesabu kanakupatia rating. Okay? Ama score. Okay? Ukiwa above a particular score, sawa. Ukiwa below a particular score, hiyo loan hupati. In other words, from our historical data, we know that people who are above a particular score tend to pay. People who are below a particular score don't tend to pay. It's a lot. But does that mean that because you have this score, you're completely cut off from getting any loan from Mogo? No. You can come back after 2 months. See, data yako zimeimprove. So umetushoa uko sawa. You can get a loan. Okay? Then, actually, something very interesting is that even if you're above a particular score as well, we even reduce your deposit. So, for example,
your deposit or interest rate?
Deposit,
okay.
So, for example, a bike deposit was 30K.
Uh-huh.
Then you're above a particular score.
Yes.
I'll come back and tell you, wewe utapata 7K less deposit.
Just because you're you have a good score.
Yes, score. So we can see. Generally, people who have this kind of score tend to pay. Remember what I told you. The reason as to why interest rate is a particular percentage is because some people don't pay.
Okay.
Okay? So a majority of people who are above a particular score, they tend to pay. Why would you charge you high deposit?
Wow. There's a reward for just paying on time and just being a good, borrower.
So we check on credit history. No, vitu kadhaa tunaangalia na huyu jamaa ako sawa. Huyu jamaa yuko sawa. What that does is that we reduce the number of repossessions that have to happen.
The recovery. Yes.
Or issues.
Or even stressing the person.
Stressing the person.
You knew for sure they will
This
struggle,
guy will
but
not
you
pay. Na bao nampatia loan. Hapo si ni kumtest.
Okay.
You get the point?
Mela.
Tunafanya hesabu hapa na pale tunaona huyu jamaa atalipa, huyu ambaye atalipa tumpea, huyu ambaye atalipa tunampea. Okay? 2 is that we finance what is sustainable. Okay? I talked about mobility assets.
Yes.
Vehicles, bikes, tuk-tuks. Okay? These are things that have a higher velocity of what? Of sale and movement. People need them.
Yeah.
You get it? So for example, ukiwa na bike hapa, tunajua kwamba hii kitu itakupatia pesa. Utaweza kulipa.
Yeah.
Okay?
The source of capital or to pay back.
Ukienda ufanya biashara unajua utaweza kulipa.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Can you imagine if we come and finance you kaa ng'ombe hivi? Sasa hii ng'ombe hivi ende ikule makatazi mahali. Tunaanzia wapi?
Yeah.
Okay. Story.
Point taken, Kariuki.
Okay. So we finance something that is sustainable, that we know that people need them. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's a genuine need.
Yes, because people are moving either. So transport is, it's basic. It's really a basic need.
Sio kama broti makuta. Umesikia broti makuta?
Very relaxed.
We finance with broti and then nobody's buying.
Unajua from where I come, that is very important. Don't touch it. Can't touch that.
Okay. So we try to finance something that is sustainable, that we know very well that it's a need. It's not even a want, it's actually a need.
Yes.
Because now there is no transportation. You can't move from X to Y. The economy is going to come to an abrupt stop. Okay? So we are financing the economy as well by financing mobility.
Napo sawa.
If, for example, because some situations happen whereby bikes can be stolen, Mogo has come up with a platform called Saka, whereby you can be able to report. You can check it out, SAKA. You can report there. We have a conglomerate of all people from the security sector, from the DCIs, from the police, from our own internal security team as well. That will be able to enable you to be able to identify and also fast track search for your vehicle or for your mobility asset in case it is stolen.
And I think maybe something to add on that is that it's real time because it's accessible on the website. And what that helps you is that once you report that an asset has or your car has been stolen, is that if I want to buy an asset, a used vehicle, a second hand, before I buy, I can still go to the platform and search and see if it has been reported as stolen before I buy it. So I think that is also something to note about, that platform. Yeah. And I think also we can talk about the hotline because sometimes, okay, you have submitted, but you want to know that, something is going on. So I think the first thing, the quickest is calling the hotline. And as you have said, we've partnered with, government and National Police Service to make sure that hata ikienda kwa boda kule, before ivuke mahali we don't have jurisdiction, we've tried as much as possible to ensure that we have recovered that. So it is to our interest that you don't lose the asset because we lose as well. Like it's a cost for us. Yeah. And I think this notion that we Mogo steal bikes or other financial steal, I think it's such a fallacy, or I don't know what I can call it, because it's such a liability. It's a lot to even imagine.
Stealing a finance, an asset that you've already financed doesn't make sense. Think about this one. Is that Mogo is an international company. Do you think Mogo will put its reputation at risk? Do you think Mogo will put its reputation at risk? And you're regulated by CBK. Not only that, our parent company, okay, is a public limited company that is listed in the Baltics.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
To steal a bike worth 150,000.
It doesn't make
100,000.
sense. It does not make
Doesn't
sense.
make
Yeah,
sense.
true.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if your bike is stolen, make a call. We're able to assist you.
Yeah.
Okay. As much as we can. At the same time, I always like to tell customers is that regardless of whether the unit is financed by Mogo or it is owned by you 100%, at the end of the day, securing that particular asset is your responsibility.
Even checking whether the tracker is, it's
your
still on.
responsibility.
Because sometimes you take it for, service or it's washed and you're not concerned whether the tracker is still in place. I think it's always good. And in our branches, I think we do offer that you can go and check that your tracker is still on because it is your responsibility
to confirm
and ensure that your asset is
safe and secure.
Because you are the one that has it. As much as it's joint until you fully pay, you're the custodian at this point.
Give an example. You know very well a particular bike is stolen in Nairobi. Okay? Then you go and park that bike. Kunasikia kuna game ya Arsenal na Man U. Okay? Of course Arsenal is going to win. Then watch bike hapo nje. Umeingia kuwatch bike kwa pub fulani. Sawa? Umeacha bike huko nje. Nobody is looking at this particular bike. Then utoke hapo nje, you are surprised the bike is no longer there. You are very surprised. Bike haiko. And Jackson very surprised.
Na mnashtuka nyinyi wote.
Haya, imeenda. Number one, who was securing this particular bike?
You should have.
Ukipaka hapa, who was checking out to make sure that it was not going to be stolen?
Yeah, true.
Okay?
Yeah.
Mbona usiende ufungie bike kwa nyumba alafu kuja watch game?
True. Responsibility.
Responsibility. Two, it's a motor vehicle. You live in apartment. You know, particular model is really hii particular vehicle inaibiwa vibaya sana. Okay? Sawa. Wewe unapark huko nje. Sawa? Unapark nje, unaenda kulala. When you wake up in the morning, you're surprised. Gari imeibiwa. You're even looking at other people's vehicles to find if your vehicle is still there. No, there was a situation whereby I saw somebody's vehicle was stolen. This guy had gone haywire. He was looking at other people's vehicles. Chini ya gari zingine. Aone kama ataiona. And I'm not lying. Sometimes you go a bit crazy.
He must have lost it for a minute because
Yes, he
honestly,
lost
where
it.
do you even
Okay.
start? Yeah.
So make sure that you secure your asset. Okay. To avoid this kind of shenanigans that actually happen.
Absolutely. And be cognizant. We need to be aware that we have bad and good people in the community. So it's good to be responsible.
Be responsible.
Be responsible.
Be responsible.
Okay.
So that's it. What else do we do as Mogo as well? Yeah, Mogo has also very dedicated customer care and also the teams at the branches. They'll be more than willing to educate you on the terms and conditions of the loan. And also you have literacy classes, like starting off with this physical protocol.
Yes, and we'll have many of these. So by the way, you can tell us which other topics will you like us to address. Yeah, and we'll bring experts, to address those questions. So yeah, in the comment.
So all the situations, if you have any particular question, just make a call.
Yeah.
We'll share with you our customer care number as Mogo. You can reach out to us. And yes, we offer all sorts of loans, by the way. Now tuongea kuhusu biashara sasa. If you want a car financing, piga Mogo. Ukitaka car logbook, piga Mogo. Ukitaka border logbook, piga Mogo. Ukitaka border financing, kuja Mogo. Okay. Ukitaka pia simu, by the way, smartphone. We have the best rates across the market right now, across all the products that I've just mentioned. And we are looking for more and more customers to be able to join the biggest pool of customers that finance by Mogo as well.
What he's actually saying is that our business is open, our branches, the 90 branches we talked about across the country, and we have products that will suit you. We will take you through the agreements. The only thing you need to do is what he said. For you to be a happy borrower, what are the things that you need to do? Why do you need it? How are you going to pay it? Are you cushioned? And for sure, our mission is to make sure that we are empowering, especially the underserved communities, in our country. And if you check around, we are quite closer to you than you may think. So if you don't see a Mogo branch, pia tuambie, we will come there. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I hope you have gotten something. You have understood one or two things about loans. And in case, as I had mentioned earlier, you have a topic that you need us to address, please comment it there and we'll bring an expert to expound on it.